everybody, and welcome to this episode of The Spiritual Handyman, where we are putting spiritual tools into the hands of people that need them. Today, we are talking about reawakening the soul with our special guest, Sundara Fawn, who is an artist, author, creator, and just all-around spectacular human being. She's going to be sharing with us what are the benefits of reawakening our soul and how we can do it and bring it into our daily lives. Remind everybody that we are available every Thursday. New episode launches at 10 a.m. Mountain Time on YouTube. Also, you can catch us on Podbean or Spotify. If you prefer to listen to us, you can do so on Spotify now. So yay, we made it. So it's an excellent opportunity to spread the word. Please take the time to like and subscribe. Ding the little bell so you know when the new episodes post. If you're apprised, you'll know that they get posted a little earlier than Thursdays usually. So you can be watching them before the big push goes out. So thank you for being part of the community. So let's get to our guest today, talking again about reawakening the soul. And the guest today is Sundara Fawn. And I had the pleasure of getting to know her when we did an interview a while back. And I asked if she would be on the show for us because she enjoys the same type of thing that we do here with the Spiritual Handyman internet TV show, is putting tools in the toolbox. So Sundara, please tell the folks a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Hi. So what I do, I'm a visionary artist, and this all came from like my own deep exploration into truth for myself and just this curiosity to experience the soul. So for years, 35 years, I was painting, and I would take the paintings and just go into really deep states and get the information and write down the information. And I'm a big nature freak. I love hiking. And that's where I do a lot of communing with God, along with, regular meditation. So over the years with the paintings, I was guided to turn them into a card deck, a soul wisdom oracle card deck. So that's what I have. And the card deck, the cards are actually universal principles, which shows us like the energies that we're dealing with and the forces we're dealing with here in this physical world, so to speak. So when you learn these universal principles one at a time and practice and apply them every single day, your life starts to just transform. It just becomes easier. It's like the duration of suffering just lessens and lessens when you start learning, deeper understanding and learning spiritual tools to transcend like negative emotions or limitations. A lot of it has to do with the mindset and reprogramming and rewiring the mind properly, aligning it with the divine will. So that's pretty much it. So I have the cards in the book and a lot of spiritual tools because I realize how manipulative the mind can be. Like actually it's like a master manipulator. I mean, it could turn a bad habit into rationalizing and trying to make it good, So it's really important that we have this spiritual toolbox, which I call like a spiritual armor, so to speak, so we can deal with these tests and trials that life offers us every single day. But it's only we're only getting these tests and trials and everything because it's our soul's evolution. Our soul needs to evolve. So in order to do that, it just, that's what happens. It's like life is a battle. And the Bhagavad Gita talks about that. It's the battle between the soul and the ego. The soul is pulling you towards good consciousness, towards a realization of your divine energy, your unlimited potential. And the ego is pulling us towards this physical plane of the senses. We think like, oh, this, if I have a new car, it's going to make me happy. If I have a new relationship, it's going to make me happy. So over time, we're always looking for something to make us happy. And happiness and joy and bliss is the natural state of our soul. So everything else is the ego personality or the ego consciousness, which is usually ruled and governed by the subconscious mind. And the soul is governed by the superconscious mind, which is all intuitive, all knowing. So when we're tapping in and reawakening our soul, we're guided by wisdom rather than ego and emotions. So that's a little bit about it.
That's a lot of information in a short period. Thank you. You gave us so much to work with and talk about today. It's so
Let's
easy.
go.
There's a distinction that you made there of the conscious and the superconscious, and I think that really kind of exemplifies the difference between our soul and our mind, right? Because like you said, the natural state of our soul is to be in that area of bliss and joy, and that really is the state that our soul is always looking for. And that is all about coming from within, because the materialistic stuff makes us happy for a little while, sure, but it doesn't really have the longevity, right? And then the point that you made about the mind and the ego kind of being separate from the soul, those are the tools that help us navigate this world, but they are just tools as well. And it's hard to separate ourselves from that because they're so overwhelming. They're, like you said, so manipulative,
Right.
right? Just justifying things and making things seem like they're, that this is just how it is, deal with it. And when our soul starts to emerge, that's when we really start asking the questions, and all the cool, the really cool stuff, and our psychic abilities, our spiritual connections, and those things start to fire up. And that's actually the funnest part of being on this planet is waking up a little bit. But so many people are programmed differently. So what would you say, Sundara, for people that are kind of just in the beginning of connecting with their soul and really starting to kind of separate from their mind and their ego? What are the easiest first steps?
Well, to me, one of the easiest steps that people don't realize is the breath. Because the minute we find ourselves being anxious or angry or triggered by somebody, if we could, our bodies instantly want to do some shallow breathing. We breathe shallow, which closes off the oxygen to the brain, which makes everything more irrational. You can't even think straight. So the first thing is just paying attention to the breath and taking deep, long breaths down into the belly and really filling that belly up, with the breath. So you're bringing oxygen to your mind. Another thing is meditation. There's so many people who don't meditate, and meditation is the key to experiencing and feeling yourself as a soul. So I hear all the time, well, I don't know how to meditate. My mind is so crazy. I have this monkey mind. I can't turn it off. Well, you're not alone. We all struggle with that. And the first thing I always recommend is to get rid of the body, the restlessness, before you sit down to meditate. And you can easily do that by taking some long, deep breaths. And then what you do is you tense and hold the whole body until it's like literally shaken. As you inhale, you're holding all the body, and you can start with like the feet, work up towards your legs, and until your whole body's shaken, and then you exhale with like a double exhalation. So it's like you're shaking, you're tensing, and then you release, and you release it deep, because with that deep breath, you're getting rid of carbon dioxide in your blood, and your heart pumps fast to try to get rid of this carbon dioxide. So number one, if you're just slowing down the heart, you're relaxing your body, getting rid of that body restlessness before you sit down, you're gonna shave off like 45 minutes of restlessness. And most people don't even make it, 5-10 minutes. They get frustrated, because they can't turn off their mind. So being in a relaxed state to start with is going to save a lot of time in meditation. So you sit with your spine straight, you look up towards the middle of your eyebrows or the Christ consciousness or third eye, whatever you call it. And then you just start taking some deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and do like a mantra. And, I love like a mantra I know it's worked for like many of my clients, because they talk about these great results is like when you're breathing in through the nose, you're like visualizing this life force or spirit or cosmic consciousness or this God energy that's sustaining you. So you're talking to this energy. So you're like talking to God. In the inhale, you could do like, thou art in me. Exhale silently with your eyes closed, I am in thee. Or you could just say, you are in me, I am in you, if you don't like the thou and thee. But when you're doing this, you're paying attention to the breath and the mantra, and you're going to be focusing on this. And once you start doing this, you're going to realize that all of a sudden there's no separation. You're going to feel this oneness, this spirit within you, because really the root of all suffering is the illusion of separation. We think we're separate here, and we're really not. So it's, getting in touch with the soul is about feeling and acknowledging this life force that sustains us. I know that's a lot, but, and it's really interesting to look at it like we're like a cell phone, so to speak. Like if we don't plug in our cell phones at night or whenever to recharge, they're going to die. We're the same way. And that's why when we go to sleep at night, we do plug in, we do recharge, but it's an unconscious recharge. Meditation is a conscious recharging of the mind, body, and spirit. So you're able to align more and with this great spirit that sustains you rather than the exterior, material world. So it's just a gradual process of using these tools of meditation and affirmation. I'm huge on affirmation, because when you look at it, we're like affirming all the time. Whether we're thinking, whether we're talking, whatever actions we're taking, this is all affirmations. And understanding like the first spark of spirit from spirit is thought. So thought is like the matrix of all creation, and everything is universally rooted at one consciousness. So how important is thought? It's extremely important that we're learning how to think more clearly, more wise, and even that inner voice, paying attention to that inner voice and finding out what it's telling you, behind the scenes. You'd really be surprised. And if you don't know what it's telling you, you could very easily look by how are your emotions every day? What are you attracting in your physical reality? All of these are signs that somehow a thought created it, because thought acts according to its nature. So everything in our experience is created for us, by us, only for us to grow and develop spiritually, expand our consciousness. It's the soul's evolution. And another quick thing, it's really interesting, is the only thing the soul takes with it when it leaves the physical body at death is the state of consciousness that you leave with. So when we're working on these spiritual practices and using these spiritual tools, we are expanding and enlarging our state of consciousness. So the next round, in the next incarnation, here we come again, we'll start off with that, so it's just, life is eternal and the soul is immortal. So we have, this lifetime to develop ourselves, and we deserve more than suffering. We all want happiness. So all these tools bring happiness, and it's up to us to use our conscious waking state every single moment to reprogram the subconscious mind, which is based upon beliefs and patterns and things that happened to us in the past. And when we're doing that, we're increasing the superconscious mind, the mind of the all-knowing that's right within us. So it's a gradual process. So, and every conscious waking state we have is every single moment of bringing ourselves to this happiness and this bliss. And bliss is really contentment and tranquility. It's not like, oh, I'm just so excited. So most people think, oh, I'm blissed out. Bliss is actually a very tranquil state of being in the present moment, the eternal present moment of now. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. There's a lot of great tools in there. You covered a lot of ground in a short period, especially around the initiation of meditation and breaking it down into the simple pieces of, just the breath and then the body, and how releasing the body tension and giving you a physical way to do that, to relax. Right, that
Right.
makes sense, because it really can give you a bit of a jump start, and then having that mantra to focus on, to keep your mind a little more focused, a little active in the process as well. Sounds like that combination of things would really open people up and allow them to be more receptive to what meditation really is about, and to hear themselves, or hear spirit, or hear connect with whatever it is that they're supposed to, or that they're looking for.
Right. Yeah.
So a thing that I share with people a lot is that we get full credit for our spiritual work while we're here.
Yep.
And I base that in the fact that the Akashic records are always recording everything that we do. So all the information that we experience, all our interaction, all the things we do, whether it's with people or not, is in our personal Akashic record. And when you get to the end of your incarnation, you get an opportunity to review all of that, and you get full credit because, well, it's already written down. And you take that a step further even, and say that our level of consciousness that we are working towards in this lifetime is something that can actually carry over as well, which makes a lot of sense. And it's kind of like padding the next incarnation. If you're choosing to come back, you're giving yourself a little bit of a head start if you do a little work on in this one. Is that accurate? Am I assessing that correctly?
Absolutely. And like the Buddha says, if you want to know your past, look at your present. If you want to know your future, look at your present. So everything is about being in that present moment and being conscious in it and what we're sending out and what we're creating. And I think a beautiful thing too with consciousness, I call it the 3 Ps. Our consciousness perceives, our mind interprets, which is based upon perception or perspective, and then we project, our emotions react. So this is constantly firing every single moment of our life. We're constantly, perceiving things, and then we put a perspective on it, the mind's interpreting, and boom, the emotions react. So when we start like expanding our consciousness and understanding new perceptions, and we change our whole projection, like, so I'm all about, like, raising the consciousness and learning new perspectives. And the ones I love with the perspective, when you put it, on, like, it just works, is looking at this life as a dream. And every day you're waking up and you're in a dream. It's just like at night when we sleep, we're lucid dreaming. Well, during the day when we wake up, we have another opportunity to lucid dream. That's like being awake here in this dream creation. Therefore, we're looking at things differently. So when things happen to us, if we could just snap ourselves out, if we're being angry or we're being triggered somehow, just say, wow, this is all a dream. How am I going to act consciously instead of reacting to emotions? And you're going to start seeing your life shift huge when you're just changing these little perspectives, with life, and playing and having fun with it. And also seeing it as, here we are in Earth School. and we're constantly being tested. We're getting tests in order to move on to the next grade, so to speak. But we have to pass these tests. Otherwise, the universe is so giving. She's always giving us more and more opportunities of tests, even though it's like two different people, circumstances, situations, because we need to grow and develop in that area and start passing the tests. And you're going to find, sometimes you flunk it, then the next time you maybe get a C, then maybe a B, and you're going to realize once you start getting A's, where you're acting like this divine being that you are, this beautiful avatar, where you're not emotionally reacting, you're not going to get those situations anymore brought to you vibrationally. There's another whole set that comes your way. There's like layers, and it's all this beautiful unfoldment of the soul waking up, and you waking up to know that you are this beautiful immortal soul, filled with this bliss and joy.
Sundara, what would be some indications that your soul is awakening? Like what would be some tangible symptoms of that?
Well, the main thing, spiritual progress is very slow to identify. So the first thing I would think is you're going to start feeling more peaceful. Your emotions are going to be more balanced. You're not going to be so, triggered, by other people. And you're going to feel more of the state of oneness, of calmness, and the creativity will be heightened, because like the life force is a creative life force. So all of a sudden you're going to be like feeling this creativity, and you're going to be wanting to create your dreams, and you're not going to have fear. A lot of times, that's the main thing. You're going to see, you're going to be more courageous and brave moving forward in life, because fear is the thing that stops us from moving forward. And you're going to also see the length of the duration of suffering getting shorter and shorter and shorter, because you're understanding and you're replacing everything with this wisdom where you don't have to suffer. Sometimes people go through emotions for days, weeks, months, years, and then all of a sudden you're going to realize like, wow, you're getting shorter. Maybe it's only going to take a day, and the next time it's going to just take a few hours. And then eventually it's like instantly, like, okay, what am I to learn from this? Who have I become, or who am I becoming? And you're going to be able to shift right out of it. So there's a lot of good things that you're going to instantly start feeling more calm and relaxed and less stress.
Those are all great reasons. I'm going to say any one of those is a winner, much less layering them together and starting to open up to all those possibilities. So many of us struggle in different ways, and we have tranquility in one place but not in another. And it sounds like the process of reawakening our soul can kind of help us get some continuity and have that more of a blanket peacefulness, instead of just oh, I've got it over here but not over there. So I love that you share it the way that you do. Sundara, how can people learn more about your art and your books and the card deck? Share with us how people get in touch with you.
Well, you could visit my website, sundarafawn.com, or reawakeningthesoul.com. And I have like a free mind, body, spirit alignment course. It's a little mini course that you can sign up and learn some of these great holistic spiritual tools to get started. And then you could go deeper if you want. There's a soul awakening course. And then I'm starting to offer like one-on-one consultations and group gatherings now. So yeah, go online and see if this is for you.
Fantastic. And I'll make sure that those links are available in the description of the video. Wherever you're checking it out, it will be available in that place. So you can go to Sundara Fawn. That's SundaraFawn.com, or reawakeningthesoul.com. So thank you for sharing those addresses with us. And the mini course is actually really cool, folks. It's worth taking a look at that, signing up, and checking out how you can activate those tools. It's so much easier than you might think, and there's lots of great info available there, and Sundara offers that free of charge. So on behalf of the Spiritual Handyman community and myself, Sundara, thank you so much for taking the time to share your wisdom and knowledge and all these incredible spiritual tools to help us boost up our spiritual armor.
Thank you. Namaste. And make this your best day ever. Keep shining.
So thanks to all of our listeners and our viewers. We appreciate you joining us for this episode of The Spiritual Handyman, and we will see you in the next one.
The Spiritual Handyman, bringing spiritual tools to the hands of the people who need them. Sponsored by the Eagle Heart Foundation. The Eagle Heart Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that brings charitable contributions and educational enhancements to the people. So how can you be a part of the Spiritual Handyman and the Eagle Heart Foundation? The Triple Win Situation. This book was written by Granddaughter Crow, and half of the proceeds go to the Eagle Heart Foundation, which in turn sponsors the Spiritual Handyman. How to get it one? It's on Amazon and Kindle for only $9.99. So we are here to bring tools to you. Thank you so much, Spiritual Handyman. We believe in what you do.